welcome to No Drama Makeup Mama. Do any of these sound like you? Oh, I can't wear color. Once you get past a certain age, you don't wear color on your eyes. It's just not natural. I mean, I just don't know what to do with color. I mean, I like the palettes and they're pretty and it looks pretty on everyone else. I just don't know where even to start. They just make so many bright colors and I just don't know how that's an everyday look. I mean, it's fine if, you know, people want to use them, but I just don't see how that's something I could do. Well, you're in luck. This is the place for you. Tonight, we will be discussing color. Friend, foe. Have you ever been to Sephora or Ulta or even the drugstore? You're walking down the aisles and you spot a really pretty palette and you're like, oh, let me look at it. And you open it up and you're like, gosh, I mean, I just wouldn't use all the colors, so I just don't see the point in buying it because it's got all these bright colors in it and I just wouldn't use it. Since I've been doing this channel, I've had so many people talk to me about how you can't wear color when you get older, you have to adjust how you do your eyes. You can't, you know, or you're intimidated by color and you just think it's crazy and only kids do it. No, that's not true. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you using the Makeup Revolution London Soph X collab. It's the Ultra eyeshadows. It comes with 24 eyeshadows, some of which are neutrals, some of which are color. I'm going to do the same neutral eye on both eyes, and then I'm going to show you how to incorporate a little bit of color so that you don't pass up a palette that you would potentially have bought, but you're like, oh, I'm just not going to use all the colors. Because I've done that too. I'll be like, gosh, I really like this palette, but I don't know how wearable it is, or if there's 3 or 4 colors that I'm not sure how to use. I'm going to show you how to use those colors. So first, I'm going to prime my eyes, and I'll be right back. All right, now that my eyes are firmly primed with my MAC Painterly Pot, let's get down to business. So I'm gonna do just a normal natural look using this, and then we're gonna add color. So for my transition, for the color I'm gonna use all over my eyes, I am actually gonna go into this white because the next darkest color is too dark for me to make it like a natural color. So we're just gonna dab a little white on our eyes. If I don't put too much on, it's just gonna lighten my eyelid up and not, you know, see, don't be afraid of white either, because look, it's just lightening it up a little. It's not like that Morphe concealer. It's just a little lighter. So I'm gonna do that on this side. Guys, what is going on here? What is this? This is because I was trying to be crazy different people, make fun of myself in videos. So we got the white down. So, and like I said, you know, the reason that you put, if this is your first video, welcome, first of all. I'm No Drama Makeup Mama. Second, the reason that you put a base color, eyeshadow down after your primer is that so the colors that you use after that don't catch and skip, and, you know, you want a one just kind of basic eyeshadow eyelid color to go down first in order for everything else just to be a smooth operator. Smooth operator. All right, so you know my favorite fluffy brush from Morphe, the G24, which is the big fluffy brush. I'm going to go in and start transitioning. These don't have names. With this color right here, it's a taupe, so it's natural. Baby steps. We're doing baby steps. I'm going to make you guys so comfortable with color. By the end of this, you're gonna be like, I need to buy only color palettes. Because color does not have an age limit. It's not like once you hit 30 or once you hit 40 or once you hit 50, you can't do colors. Now you may need to adjust the way that you do your makeup because, say for example, I have a little bit of a hooded eye and it's starting to get worse the older I get. And so a rule for that is, you know, you don't want to call attention to crepiness or to the hood. You want your eyes to pop out. So you want to stick to matte colors above your eyebrow. Wow. Yeah, all the way up here you want some mattes. No, you want to stick to matte colors above your eye, your actual eye. And that's going to push back any hangover you have and reduce crepiness. All right, so now that I've gone in with that kind of lighter transition shade, I'm gonna darken my transition up just like I would any other kind. So I'm gonna take a color that's in that same family, because we are family. That was my husband. This kind of like pinky tan. I'm gonna call it pinky tan. And I'm gonna go closer into my eyeball, just kind of literally, I'm literally using that windshield wiper motion, and I feel like I'm just massaging the top of my eyeball. Like you're starting in the corner and you go all the way to the other corner and you just massage it in. You ask your eye how it's doing today. Like, oh, you have a lot of tension around your iris. All that kind of stuff. So I've actually never used this palette. So I should obviously use it for a tutorial. But the color payout's pretty good. So far, I've just used the neutrals. But okay, so see how that just kind of darkened it up a little. Let me do the same thing on the other side real quick. Alrighty. We have 2 transition shades on and our base. So here's where we're gonna shake it up a little bit. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do color, to integrate color into your look. The first way is to put the color you want to use on your whole eyelid. So I am going to go in with this kind of mossy green, and I'm going to use my MAC 242 brush, and I'm going to apply this all over my lid. So as you can see, I picked this color because it's like a mid-tone color, and it's adding a little bit of color, but it's not super out there. If you can see, it's just adding a little bit of shimmer and a little bit of a green tint to my eye. Okay, so we're gonna finish this side, then we'll go do the other eye. I'll show you the other way because I think it's confusing if I go back and forth. So the next thing I'm gonna do with this one is you wanna do the V that I always do, brighten your eyes up. So I'm gonna take a Morphe R42 brush, which is that dome top eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna go in with this chocolate brown color. So we're going back to the neutrals. Back to the neutrals. And starting right outside, just kind of make that wedge. So you can see that. And then take it up into my crease. Just make that little triangle kind of thing. These shadows are not as pigmented as I would like them to be, but Makeup Revolution is kind of one of those, it's an Ulta brand, but it's not prestige and it's not drugstore. It's kind of in between, and I think a lot of their stuff is hit or miss. I know they have some really good palettes, but this one is a little meh, but it'll do for what we're doing. So you see I used the brown to darken that up, and actually if you can tell, it actually accentuates the green, but without making it look like I got crazy color. Now, here's where we get crazy. Always getting crazy up in here. I'm gonna take my another MAC 242 brush, and I'm going to go into this coppery kind of, what it is really is it looks like you mix the chocolate brown with the green that's on my eye and got this color. They had a baby. They named it George. And that color I'm gonna use to kind of transition from the dark brown to the green. So it gives you a little bit more dimension, a little bit more pizzazz, if you will. As you can see, I'm actually gonna go back with the brown a little bit and just kind of smudge it a little bit more. And then I always like to take just the leftover on my brush. You don't have to dip back in, and just kind of put it under your eye. And there you go. Look, I just used green eyeshadow and it's not crazy. What? See? So that's a green. So on this next look, we're gonna use this purple. All right, so another way to incorporate color is by doing a subtle shift of color, which will kind of make it interesting when you blend. And I'm gonna show you how to do that now. So you're gonna take a flat paddle brush. I'm doing a MAC 242 again. It's like the brush of the day. And I'm going into this, it's kind of like terracotta, I guess, would be my best way to describe it. And I'm going to use that all over my eyelid. And you'll see that color's got some pigment. So this is still what I would consider a neutral eye. This color is definitely a little bit brighter than I thought it was gonna be, but it is still in the same warm, neutral, bronzy family. Okay. Ooh, that was, well, hey, we're doing color, so there you go. So now, since that color is kind of bright, you know, I'm glad this happened. You gotta be able to do things on the fly. You can't let one thing ruin your whole look. That happens to me all the time. Like, I'll have an idea in my head of what I wanna do, and then I start laying color down, and I'm like, oh my God, that does not look like what I want it to look like at all. And then you feel like, oh, I just need to take everything off, or I quit. Don't do that. Improvise. Be fluid with your makeup. Because sometimes one of your eyes is gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna show up all orange. And you're gonna be like, okay, we're showing up orange. So since this is so bright, I am gonna go in with a darker transition color, which is kind of like this plummy, mauvey brown. I'm really bad at describing color. Nobody give me that job. That color's a kind of greenish, orangish purple with a hint of salmon. Okay, so all I'm doing right now is just going back with my windshield wiper motion. I'm actually gonna use my fluffier brush. This is a Morphe R39. And I'm going in that pinky browny mauvey color. And I'm gonna go kind of higher up. And this is gonna be more of a smoky eye. Because remember, smoke is not a color, it's a style. All right, so I deepened my transition and my crease color up because and see now if you look at it, now that orange doesn't look so bright. I hope you can see that. If you can't, I'm sorry. Now, purple. So what we're gonna do with purple is I'm gonna take, what are we gonna do with purple, Jessica? We're all waiting with bated breath. I'm gonna take a Morphe M166, which is a flat synthetic paddle brush. And I'm going to take that purple, and I'm gonna go on the outside of my eye with this, okay? So just right there, and I'm not even really moving my brush back and forth. I'm literally just trying to pack the color on there because it is a shimmer. Shimmers tend to not go on as well as mattes. And like I said before, this palette is not super pigmented, which, you know, for a beginner, if you want to try some color, but you don't want to go like, oh my God, color, this might actually be a really good palette for you because the payoff is not fantastic. So you would get a little bit of color without making it insane looking. All right, so what I've done is I've just packed some of that purple on the outside corner of my eye. So when I open, you can't really see it. What it's doing is actually, it's just kind of creating a shadow on the outside of my eye, which opens your eye up a little bit more and just gives dimension to the color without making it look crazy. So in order to blend that kind of orangey color, which was not orange in the pan, and that purple, I'm gonna use even more color. What? So I'm gonna go in with a MAC 213 brush, which is the not as firm paddle brush. And I'm gonna go into this matte pink rose. It's rose. And I'm gonna tap it because it looked like a bunch kicked up. And I'm gonna just press that. I'm starting right where I stopped with the purple and going all the way up my eyelid and kind of just doing little tiny tapping motions to blend it into the orange. So all we're doing is just kind of tapping it in. So see, now your eye has two different colors on it, but when you open it, it doesn't look crazy. Does that look crazy? I don't think it looks crazy. Do you? Do you think it's crazy? It might look crazy. I don't know. All right, so now I'm just gonna add a little bit of shouge on the inside to make this beauteous. So I'm gonna go with this kind of gold color because apparently I like sunset eyes. I don't even know if I got any on that brush. And I'm gonna just tap some of that in the corner. No, none of that came on the brush at all. So we're gonna use my finger. And I'm just going in the inside of my eye just to build a little bit more dimension. And see? Look at that. Look at that. So this eye, I used color all over the eye and then used darker neutral tones to kind of tone it down a little bit so it's not too much. And on this eye, I inadvertently used kind of a bright color on my lid, so I darkened up my crease area to make my lid look not as bright, and then used color to kind of create a gradient on my eye, so it kind of goes purple, pink, orange. And if you blend enough, which I'm actually going to go back with some more of that purple because I don't think the purple, I want the purple to stand out more. And if you want color to stand out, one, you can use a wet brush. A wet brush is going to give you a lot more color payout. You can either wet it with like something like MAC Fix Plus. The weirdest thing, you can actually use eye makeup remover. I know that sounds crazy, but it's pro tip. If you mix eyeshadow with eye makeup remover, you can use it as liner. Don't ask me why. I don't know. It just works. So there you go. You're welcome. All right. So you just go in and I'm just going to go in and tap because I like that purple. I want the purple to show up more. Okay, cool. And then I'm just going to rub any excess that's on my brush under my eye. And there you go. I created two completely different looks using this palette. I use the brightest colors in here. Both of them I think are pretty good. Personally, I like a little bit more crease color. So just because I'm a perfectionist, I'm gonna go back in and just kind of zhuzh it out. I'm gonna go off camera now and put some eyeliner on. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna do it on screen because I can. All right, so that's the looks with the different things. See, color's not intimidating. Don't ever not buy a palette that you really like just because you think you're not going to use all the colors. Because if you play with it and you experiment with it, first of all, you know, if you don't dip your brush into something too much, anything is workable. You know, any color is workable except for black. Sometimes black is a little crazy. But you can make anything look natural just depending on what colors you use with it. You just have to find colors that correspond together. So what I'm going to do to emphasize I haven't even opened this. To emphasize the green on my green side, I'm actually going to use a green liner. Colored liners are a great way to introduce color if you're not ready to do colored shadow, but you want to try exploring some different things. Get darker colored but colored eyeliners because that will like if your eyes are brown and you get like a purple liner, it brings green out. If your eyes are blue and you use like a copper colored liner, it makes your eyes stand out. It just, you know, all that. So I'm using Sephora's waterproof 24 Hour on this eye, and it is in the color Fairy Tale. And it is green. But I'm gonna go right along my lid, which is called tight lining. And all I'm doing is going about halfway in with this green, and then just a little bit down on my eye. And see how that made that pop? Like if you're looking from a distance, it just looks like I have eyeshadow on. But if you really look at it, you can tell there's color, so you're adding a little bit of spice to your life. So for that one, I did green. So since my other eye is, I don't really want to use purple though. I think for this eye, the other eye, the purple eye, I'm actually going to go in with black, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, black eyeliner. Bleh, bleh, bleh. Is this black? This is Midnight Blue. I can't see because I don't have my glasses on. I have a black eyeliner, I'm sure. Yes, okay. So a lot of people are like, oh, don't use black, it makes your eyes look smaller. It does if you do it all the way around your eyes. It doesn't actually do that if you just use it on part of your eye. So, like I said, you want to create a more open look to your eyes, so you just kind of put some of that eyeliner on just the outside corner of your eye. You're kind of mimicking the V that I did on this side. And then just a little tiny bit right in that corner. And see, it makes your eyes pop without making them look smaller. You can use black. That's black. It doesn't look bad. I don't think it looks bad. Comment below if you think it looks bad and I'll say, okay. Then I'm just gonna put some mascara on and we'll be done. I'm gonna use my huge. Guys, I've tried other stuff. I've tried so many mascaras. The only drugstore mascara that I like, I don't even know if they make anymore. Comment down below if you know if they make it still. It's the Lash Stiletto. I loved that. But other than that, I don't really like any drugstore. I like the Urban Decay's Perversion, okay, but it's really wet when you first use it, so I usually like to open it and then close it and then let it sit for like a week, because then it gets a little tackier, because it's so, I guess, thin that when you put it on, if you even like blink while you're putting it on, you're gonna have mascara everywhere, which is the worst. So I'm just putting a little bit of mascara on. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope if you did, please leave me a thumbs up and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know whenever I put out new content. Just a little FYI, I will, as usual, be going live on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. I have been challenged again, by Miss Liz McLaughlin, which I'm challenging her back, to do my makeup without using a mirror. So I'm going to do that live because I think that would be amusing for all of you. So I will be doing that live on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Mountain. All right, so those are our eye looks. Two completely different eye looks, same palette. Use a little bit of color in each one. I hope you guys learned something today. Don't forget, take a deep breath. Oh, my husband's zooming in. Can you see him? Is it good? Color. Color. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you will join me again. Remember to take a deep breath and be still.